that he has what it takes to move Ghana to the next level.
Okay.
As far as the fourth industrial revolution is concerned. We are in a world where countries and individual companies and conglomerates are leveraging on digital technology in making advances in the economy and in their developmental agenda. And that is what Mamudu Bawumia, PhD, the Vice President of this Republic, and inshallah, the next president intends to do for this republic. So this morning I would like to say good morning to him, and also to my political godfather, Nana Osu Sechere, the next member of parliament for Atwima Mpunia constituency. Today, the overwhelming call within the constituency is that indeed Honorable Sedo Sakoto, locally known as Nana Osu Sechere, is the one who has the magic wand to transform the lives of the good people of Atwima Mpunia. So I'd like to say good morning to him. And then to the minister responsible for works and housing, the Honorable Bantama Asensubuachi. Yesterday, he delivered a speech on behalf of government at COP28, the gathering of government officials, business experts, lobbies, and other CSOs towards finding innovative ways in going green as far as wealth development is concerned. And so he delivered a speech on behalf of government in our effort towards green revolution and policies and programs that intend to safeguard our environment and our God-given nature. Afa, thank you very much.
Let me say good morning to Mr. Abakojo Hans. He's
good
the
morning.
OT. Pardon?
That's the name. That's the name.
You are the communication director for, and is it communication officer or director?
Director for the
OT
Regional Youth Wing.
Oh, okay, okay. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
This will be your first time.
Yeah.
Let
me use this opportunity to say very good morning to you and your listeners.
Okay.
And then also the communications officer of the Ashanti region, Abbas Nuruddin.
Okay.
Then Papa J, the communications officer for Forikrum. He's supposed to be here today, but unfortunately because of an event that he himself is organizing, which is a demonstration at the Forikrum municipality.
On the road situation.
Yeah, on the road situation. So
okay. Guys,
because of that, he couldn't make it. He's supposed to meet one or two people, the police commander, and then people involved, all the stakeholders involved. So I'm here to represent him today.
Great.
And I extend my greetings to him. Okay. Let me also extend my greetings to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the owner and the brainchild of the 24-hour economy. You know, the 24-hour economy will be a deliberate policy intervention by the next NDC and Mahama government to encourage and support businesses and companies to operate 24/7, preferably in 8-shift system, which means some people will go in the morning, middle, somewhere in the afternoon, then in the evening. This 24-hour economy has been described as the TUC secretary as a game changer, and I think all Ghanaians should embrace this particular policy.
Okay.
It is really a game changer. So good morning to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama with his fantastic idea, and then to Jenano Pokwajiman. Good morning.
Because you mentioned Jenana, let me start from you then, because there are two. All parties have issues to do with who becomes their running mates. You just mentioned Professor Nana Jin Opokwajiman. Would you say that she will be the right candidate to partner John Dramani Mahama into the 2024 election? Because it is looking like possibly she may be settled on, even though it's likely to change though. But from information we are gathering, from where you said, if this becomes the decision of the former president, how would that change, or how would that impact the ticket of the NDC into the 2024 election?
Okay, so we'll do this one first before the MP.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. So I nearly forgot someone, Desmond Tutu at Staffo.
Okay.
A very good morning. He said he's watching us this morning.
Okay. We are live on YouTube, so if
okay.
listening to us,
he said we are live on YouTube.
You can join us on YouTube, Orange 107.9.
The decision of, or let's say, someone being a running mate for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, or a flag bearer in the NDC, the constitution of our party has delegated that sole power to the flag bearer. even though we may have our opinion, you may have it, I also have mine, I may have an interest or someone who I think will perform better if partnered with John Mahama. But he is the only person that can decide. I don't know whether you can remember, prior to the 2020 elections, there were so many names. We had names like Dufour, Nestle Tamaklo. You can mention, we have big wigs in the party, including this man who even did this research for us, Kwesi Botwe. Names of people were mentioned. But John Mahama ended up, as he has been, surprising everybody by mentioning someone who was not even on the list. And you could testify to that. At that time, that Professor Jenano Opoku-Agyeman was nowhere mentioned. Nobody has mentioned. We didn't see it coming. But John Mahama ended up surprising everybody by mentioning Jenano Opoku-Agyeman's name. And I think this time around too, the decision is being left to him to decide. And if it is Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, she is the best. And then, for me, if it is Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, she's the best person to partner John Mahama.
She didn't make any impact in the last election.
What should she? The
Central region, no, even in her own constituency.
It is not a problem. Bawumia's first time in election, he didn't win his own constituency. We have running mates that didn't win their own constituency. So saying she didn't make it, but for me, she made a very great impact. You know, we lost the election close to 1 million in 2016. And then she coming together with John Mahama. You saw the performance. Even
reduced to 500.
Even with the central region, as in a region, you know the number of seats we lost
in 2016.
2016. And you saw what has happened when we added her to the ticket. So Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, apart from her being a politician, he is also an educationalist who has gotten a lot of achievement when it comes to the education sector. Who has a lot of achievement to partner with John Mahama. And you saw when they were trying to play mischiefs that something was done, she did this, she did that, it was very easy to cover it up and explain for people to understand and take her to the election. And that one played a major role. You see, sometimes when you are selecting a running mate, when the person's name is being mentioned, the opponent quickly runs to go and check if there are some skeletons in the cupboard. Whether you have some cases of fraud, you have cases of thievery, you can mention it. But Jenano Opoku-Agyeman, as we speak, is clean from all those of allegations. He has never been involved in any corrupt act. She has never been involved in any act of thievery, embezzlement of government fund. No, she's clean. And for me, she is very perfect for that position. If John Mahama should appoint her again or select her.
Some say the NDC is facing a dilemma because John Mahama, as we know, will only be able to spend, that is if he wins, to serve for 4 years. And that if he leaves the stage, there will be another jostling for who becomes the party's next flag bearer. Some have said the running mate should be someone who has the political wherewithal, the gravitas, the stature to more or less replace John Mahama because NDC has a history that they present their vice presidents as their next running mate. It started with John Mills and then John Mahama. So some have suggested that you should opt for someone who can take that mantle after Mahama leaves, and that they believe that Professor, even though she is but she doesn't appear to be that kind of individual. How would you respond to that?
Even though they normally say it's a history, but sometimes we do change histories. Sometimes it normally changes.
Okay.
But what you should also know is when John Mahama became the running mate for Mills, nobody dreamt of Mahama becoming the president. True or false? Likewise, when Dr. Bawumia became the running mate for Akufo-Addo, it was not because after Akufo-Addo, Bawumia will become the next flag bearer. No. Jenano Opoku-Agyeman in 2020 election, before the 2020 election, was appointed or selected based on her competence and what she can deliver. And you know something? If the NDC as a party led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama should deliver well, as we have been doing in previous years, as we have done in 2012 to 2016, as he has delivered the major infrastructure across even in this region, Ashanti region, and we should do it. This is a collective achievement. It is not like some people that when even they are going to contest for a flag bearership election, you will see almost 9 of the candidates running away from their own records. No. NDC is a party that has records, good achievement, which you can mention of that. If anybody, even if I'm the one that have been picked or elected by the party's delegates or by the electoral college to lead the NDC for maybe the next election after John Mahama, I will win because the records are there to show.
Records. Okay. I'll come back to you, but let me go to Archie. Archie, would you want to discuss the NDC matters, or you would like to discuss your own matter? But the question is,
what are you doing this morning? What are you saying?
What am I doing?
You've introduced a topic. My brother has had a bite on it. You are telling me that I'm going to ignore this very important.
Maybe you want to deal with your own issue.
I don't topics on your show. It is your show. You tell me what to say.
Relax. Why are you in a hurry?
I feel bad about you trying to.
You don't have to feel bad.
Box me into some situation. I know.
I'm not boxing you. That's why I've given you options, so you can just
look. The NDC is
contribute to the general.
The NDC is a principal actor in our body politics, so everything about them is important.
It's very important.
Yes.
So,
my brother, let me begin by saying that we in the New Patriotic Party believe in women participation.
Yeah.
If you look at the contributions of women across Ghana, the impact that they have made in sectors and areas that we have had women partaking in key leadership positions, you could tell that they've made significant inroads in these areas.
Okay.
So, as a party, we believe in situations when women are given opportunity at the highest level in our governance system. And so we as a party, we are on record to have appointed the first Chief Justice as a woman. We are also on record to have appointed the first Chief of Staff for government business, also being a woman. And in fact, today, Mami Fremont Pare is the longest serving Chief of Staff ever in the Fourth Republican dispensation. She's the only Chief of Staff who have had a full term first year, and then she's virtually going to end the second term, looking at the way things are going. Again, in terms of other areas where women have had a say and played key roles, they've performed. So I am all for it. When
so you're all for Jane?
No, for a situation when women are selected to higher positions or power. That is something that I want to put on record, and that is what the New Patriotic Party believes in. So we believe in women participation. However, Nana Jane Mensa Upukwajiman, I hope I got the name right.
Professor Nana Jane Upukwajiman.
Professor Nana Jane Upukwajiman. I am surprised that my brother here praised her performances at the Ministry of Education. If you ask me, she's one of the worst ministers of education that we have had in this republic. Worst.
Also.
First of all, it was during the era when she was the minister that we had the former second lady go to a school. And the school was pleading for chalk.
Can I
make my statement?
Please do.
The school was pleading for chalk. It means that this all-important and very basic teaching and learning material was not available. Because if indeed she, being the minister responsible for education, had provided these things, I'm not sure that the headmistress would have demanded for chalk. If I come here and you have microphone, there's no way you are going to tell your director to buy your microphone because you already have one and you're working with it. It means that these important and very basic educational logistics was not available. And that's how come the headmistress demanded for chalk, and she was told that my chalk and the chalk. It was during her time. It was during her time that teachers completed school, posted to remote areas, teaching in mosquitoes and bed bugs for 3 good years, and they were told that they were going to be paid 3 months. How evil can a government be? How scandalous can a minister be? That you have people training, taking their children through education, getting them into school, going through the ordeal of completing school, getting the requisite qualifications to teach. They go into their remotest areas in Kumasi to teach. And they work for 3 good years.
Yeah.
Being sponsored by their brothers, their uncles, their aunties, some of them their girlfriends. And some of them even had to get into some other immoral life just to make sure that they're able to make ends meet. And they do that for 3 years. And we have a government under a ministry under the leadership of Nana Jenopo Kwajimai, telling them that even though you have worked for 3 good years, I am going to pay you 3 good. How can this be? Have you imagined it? Even when you're having the whole 3 years pay, how are you even making do with life? Alpha. Those of us receiving salary, how are we really making do with the salary that we're receiving? And then you work for 3 good years. Some of them even took loans from financial institutions with the view that when the money comes and then there's a back pay, they will pay back. And you put these young beginners into this life for those 3 years.
But with all of these, Archie,
Yes.
when she was appointed as the running mate into the 2020 election,
Yes.
just like our good friend Mr. Kojohan said, she contributed in increasing the votes of the NDC at the time from what they garnered in 2016 compared to what they garnered in 2020. Was that not a vote of confidence?
I think that as a country we should be worried.
We should be worried.
We should be worried that you have people performing poorly in areas of leadership. And then when it comes to voting patterns, they are making significant inroads. I think that was the crux of the discussion that you guys were having this morning. Why is it that certain persons that we read their manifestos, we read their policies for certain constituencies, were not voted to become parliamentary candidates? And we ended up having other people. And I think that we should be worried if, as a republic, the selection and elections of political leaders is not based on their performances in yesteryears, but it's based on other criteria. That you can have a minister who will cancel an allowance that has been paid from government since 19 Kojohoho. She cancelled it as a minister.
It was the president who...
I'm looking at the Ministry of Education. Of course, what else? All these things is Mohammed's achievement, just like my brother said. Yes, these are
implemented by the ministers.
Implemented by the minister. And she was a sector minister.
She was at the time.
And I'm saying that she cancelled an allowance that Nkrumah paid, an allowance that Busia paid, an allowance that even military juntas paid, an allowance that Professor Mills paid, an allowance that President John Adjei Kufuor paid, an allowance that Rawlings paid, an allowance that today Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is paying.
Okay.
Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman was the minister when this allowance was taken away from these young men and women in our training colleges. What performances are you talking about? Again.
And please wrap up for me because you have spent more than 5.
Finishing. I think my biggest put off for this wonderful professor, he's a wonderful person, he's a great academician, but my biggest put off for her had to do with her garnering the audacity, the impunity as a lady when the Supreme Court president, the Chief Justice of the Republic, has been told that we are going to rape you and maim you if you don't do certain things according to our rules and caprices. And then the Supreme Court of this republic put these 3 Muntier guys behind bars. And she had the intrepidity, the impunity, the audacity, the impudence as a woman. A woman has been threatened with rape. A woman has been threatened with young men saying that they are going to maim her. And then you have a woman also going to append her signature to a petition to have these men released. That for me is scandalous. That for me is the biggest scandal that will ever follow this woman.
Wasn't it in the context of them pleading with the judges to temper justice with mercy?
I am saying, look at the premise. Alpha, if somebody tells you, you're my friend, that I'm going to slap a journalist, Alpha, and then the police incarcerate the person, and I'm somebody who believes in media freedom, and I go and sign a petition for the police to release that person, I don't believe in what I'm saying.
Let me take 2 minutes rebuttals from you guys, and then we'll proceed to the other issues. Yes, Kojo, you've heard Mr. Archie raised a number of issues. He said her performance in the education sector is nothing to write home about. She seemed not to believe in women freedom because when women were threatened, she signed a petition to have those individuals freed. That's not a good record in his view. What do you think? In 2 minutes, let's say.
For the education achievement, he talked about a chalk not being provided, and the second lady went to a school to find out that there was no. You see, these sort of mischiefs should stop. We have passed that stage. That particular style of politics of propaganda and all sort of this thing is you use just a particular situation, just one incident, to say someone has not performed. Then you that has not been able to provide textbooks with your all educhum. That is even, educhum is also running around for this rally meeting. He's also doing it. That could not even provide textbooks for schools. Call any teacher and ask. That do they have textbooks? You are talking about chalk. Your incoming running mate, educhum, couldn't provide textbooks. You are talking about chalk. So if it is about chalk that someone has not performed or someone is being described as a poor performer, then it means the whole MPP government is full with super incompetent people. I'm coming. Talking about cancellation of allowance and all those things. We have said it times without numbers that cancellation of allowance was a cabinet decision. And for that one, it is for a good reason. I attended University of Education, Winneba. I did education. When I was attending school, we were given a privilege to take student loan. We are not from rich homes. We are from backgrounds that are not all that okay. But we were able to attend school and complete with the student loan. And then your mama brought this initiative that this particular student loan should be taken away, but not completely. With the introduction of what? This allowance should be taken away with the introduction of what? Student loan. Just like the way that Unibat does it, UCC does it, and even some students are Legon, that's the same thing. That was what your mama said. And then this particular decision was done in a way that so that we can have enough fund to build schools, so that we can what? Post them to those various schools, so they won't come home and sit idle like the way they are right now. You are talking about, we are talking about 3 months pay that we delay. It is better than the person completing and using teacher licential exam as a barrier for someone being in the house for over 4 years now. It is better.
Please wrap up for me in 30
using teachers licential exam as a barrier. I'm repeating that place very well. Read my lips well. As a barrier to stop someone from working for over 4 years. You are talking about 3 months pay. Not only that, he is also talking about the human rights aspect, about women and all those things. Let me just do that one first. You see, we should stop being hypocrites. Seriously. He's my senior man. I know him very well. I've met him on several occasions. He's just trying to play some gymnastic because it is politics. You were here in Ghana here when people from your party called the invisible forces, those thugs entered the court and pulled a judge, a lady, off a chair to release their people who were under trial. Have you forgotten? You today you are talking, you have all those great women you are talking. Fremont Paris, what did Fremont Paris say about that? Didn't they organize and contributed money, including Fremont Paris, with all the female MPs, all the female ministers in the MPP, and sent it to me to be given to those boys to be released?
As for that, I'm not too sure.
You will not be sure. Relax. That is not. But it is the MPP party that has given money to the guys
I'll come back
to pay for bail. After treating a lady judge like that. You are here talking about someone who only signed.
You spent 3 minutes, so let me give you the same 3 minutes. Yes. Achi, let's say.
I enjoy it when I have NDC colleagues on panel, especially those who come very unprepared. And I think my brother admitted.
No, I'm not too sure you can't.
No, I admitted he was.
You
not
may disagree with his.
But I mean, very directionless, purposeless.
No, but. No,
espousals.
Let's not be personal.
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the party.
You are talking about the party.
Not my brother. Not my brother. We are talking of matters that has to do with people aspiring to become running mates, and we want to talk about invisible forces. What have they got to do with?
No, he's okay. I didn't want to interrupt, but
partnering the president of the day. These are public records. I am saying that this woman refused to supply chalks. Very basic, and of course, this propaganda that they've been doing. I believe that Sami Jeffy sat in his office and they gave it to them to espouse. But Google online, Education Ministry begins distribution of textbooks to basic schools, August 31st, 2022. Again, The stories are there. Google is there. City FM textbook for basic schools ready for distribution. August 18th, 2022. Education Ministry take the review of textbooks tomorrow. August 22. There's a graphic online. The stories are there. Ghana Web, ignore claims government can't provide textbook for new curricula for basic schools. No, May 20th, 2022. So you see, these are the lies and the propaganda that the NDC always want to throw into this public space. The stories that we are reading is almost 2 years ago, and we provided these textbooks. I am saying that if you have a woman who also have the audacity to append her signature to the release of young men who sat on radio and scandalized the biggest judicial position of this republic, then that woman can be described as being dangerous.
Dangerous?
Very dangerous. Because that was, by then, that was the biggest position that any woman had occupied in Ghana. Tell me I'm lying. Because when you take the president and then the vice president, you come to the speaker, the next biggest position is the chief justice. Correct me if I'm wrong. So by that time, the chief justice position was the biggest that any woman in the republic had occupied. And so my impression is that women across the various political divides will come together to support her. But this woman appended her signature to young men sitting on radio, running the whole judicial system down, including the biggest position in the judiciary. And you think we shouldn't talk about it? I am saying that this is their party. They can decide on whoever they want to bring to power. But we will go and dig deep into the person's performance, not her personal issues. You realize that I never talked about her household, whether her children and this. I don't do those things.
We are not
yes, but these are her political life.
We are not interested.
When she went and signed the petition, it was live on radio, it was live on TV. How scandalous can that be?
Yes.
Finish it.
In 30 seconds.
Yes, in 30 seconds. Finish it. Let nobody sit anywhere and say that this government has not provided books. And let nobody sit anywhere and say that the performances, you see, the performances of the New Patriotic Party drove the National Democratic when it comes to education. You are talking about school buildings that you built. Which ones? The school blocks that they built. When they promised that they were going to build over 200, they ended up building 28. We came and completed 78 of them. Today, we have built schools for them to see that this is how we build secondary school. Go to Pemseka.
Okay.
Go to Awasu. Oh, please. Go to Awasu. We have built ultra-modern educational complex befitting of a senior high school.
The time is up. So let's move on to some other conversations. I don't know. If you want to use your time to discuss this, that's also fine. But let's start because let's start from the let's proceed to the MPP. Now we've heard so many names. We've heard that former vice president has sought for more time to do a lot more consultation. We've heard the names of Dr. Yaudichum, which he mentioned, which he has a serious problem with. Had the name of Dr. Matthew Pukupempe.
Yes.
I'm even hearing the name of Kobina Japan. Because nowadays I've been seeing him with the vice president in a very, very nice situations. We've had Honorable C. Chairman and some other names. Let me hear you. Who do you think will best complement the vice president?
Everywhere I go, my answer for this question is simple. Until the president
or the vice president.
On the vice president
or the flag bearer
decides on a candidate, I want to be reserved on this particular topic. It's not that I'm not going to comment on it, but I want to be very cautious in my narrative. You see, I'm one person who believes that until I'm convinced of a decision, I am careful at it, because at the end of the day, if today I come and sit here and espouse the ethos of, say, Education Minister Aduchum, and it ends up being Napo, my brother here would use that against me when I have an opportunity to sit with him in a studio. You understand? Because you were saying that it should be this person and then ended up being another person. And it will be my responsibility to go and sell that candidate that will be chosen to partner His Excellency the Vice President. So when it comes to some of these decisions, I always want to wait for it to be completed. Unless, of course, I am 100% sure of the caliber of person I'm supporting and the possibility of he winning, just like I did for Dr. Baumia. You realize that in that race, I campaigned for Dr. Baumia because I was very sure of him. I knew of his contributions to our party and to this government and to this republic, and for that matter, I felt that he was going to be the best and the surest bet to beat John Dramani Mahama in the 2024 election. So I went in for him. But for the running mates, I have not had any serious outcomes from any of the candidates. Why? Because I'm also looking elsewhere. And
You're looking beyond these people.
Yeah, beyond these people.
Oh, I see.
And
who is this individual?
I'm not going to put the name out.
Is he an MP?
I won't say.
Is he from Ashanti region?
Yes, of course, he's from Ashanti region.
Okay.
So let the discussions go on.
Asensubuachi.
No,
Okay.
Let the discussions go on. At the end of the day, when the vice president chooses his partner and the same is accepted by the National Council, then we can interrogate the issues.
What do you
further.
think the vice president needs at this point?
I
Do you
think
are you in agreement with those who say Ashanti region now and there, no doubt about it? The person must come from the region.
There are three things that I'm looking out for. First of all, is the statement that you just made. I think that necessarily the one going to partner Dr. Bawumia must and should come from the Ashanti region. Necessarily. I would feel bad about it if the person is chosen from any other region apart from this region. Let me put forward that I am from the Eastern region, I'm an Achim. Even though I live and work here,
those people
I live and work here, but I am an Achim from the Eastern region. But I believe that whoever is chosen to partner His Excellency the Vice President should and must come from this region. That's the first thing. Second criteria that I'm looking out for is someone who has very little scandals when it comes to his or her public
little
life.
scandals.
Scandals, yes.
I see.
If you have a candidate and you spend significant part of your political delivery, like I'm doing here, defending her, like I'm doing for Jim Nana Mensos,
like you would do for your other.
Yes, metra allowance, 3 months pay, signing a petition. You know, when you have these issues to talk about, you're unable to even focus on the deliverables, the resource on the performances of such a person and his contribution to the elections proper. So you may spend the whole political cycle defending such a character.
Okay.
And so I believe that whoever gets elected must have very little to do in terms of political scandals, so that we can focus on his positives and the positives of Dr. Bawumia. Thirdly, and which is of course may be very important for me, is a character that resonates with the region, the Ashanti region. He must have what it takes to easily resonate with the general voting pattern, because admittedly,
the region alone or other?
No, this region is
this region is critical for you.
Yes, it is,
because the numbers
of course
speak for themselves.
Our victory in any elections is critically dependent on the resource and the voting patterns of this region. If you have people saying Ian Twaba, they may not vote for the NDC, but if they decide to stay at home, that's
serious.
Huge. Yes. So I'm saying that person must easily and freely resonates with the region. When it goes to our streets, our markets, the shops, magazine, the various gatherings, does it have the acceptability, the razzmatazz, the political razzmatazz? Do people want to easily identify with such characters? It's very important. So let's not decide on any character and say that
on that. Wouldn't you say it looks as if Napo stands still when it comes to that?
Well, I am saying that
on that specific criteria.
But I'm saying that it is important.
Okay.
I want to see someone who goes on the street, he raises the hand, and then there's so
like
much
Kennedy was doing
and cacophony.
Yes.
You understand? That is what I'm looking at.
Okay.
So I believe that the running mate decision is the sole prerogative of the presidential candidate.
So he should be allowed.
And he should be allowed to have the time that he's asking for. But at the end of the day, I believe that he will make the best of decisions.
Now, the last issue we'll discuss will be illegal mining. But let me take Koju's thoughts. You have 6 minutes. What do you make of the names that we've heard regarding who is likely to become MPP's flag bearer?
You see, that particular strategy and Jandam style of communication has ended way back.
What is Jandam?
They know what is called Jandam.
What
Obsinadoye from their party, back those days, have been doing Jandam at Happy FM. He has openly said it, and we have all heard. So they say Jandam, they know what they are doing. Even Afrifa, who is at Angel FM right now, confirmed that they did Jandam for the MPP, which means trying to play false information and making it to be true and all those ways.
In connection to the Professor Dinana.
So it's Jandam. It's only engaging in Jandam.
Okay.
You see, let me just prove to you that he's engaging in Jandam, saying that they are textbooks. It's a lie. It's not true. This is City Newsroom. Lack of textbooks for new curriculum, gross incompetence and insensitive.
According to says by who?
Clementa Park, who is
The ranking
a ranking member on,
member of your party.
on education. That is it. And if it is not true, or maybe he's engaging in Jandam just like how my brother here is engaging in, City will not have captured it, you know.
Which date was that?
City Newsroom.
Which date? The date, because the date was the date he gave was 2022. Maybe this happened in 2021, so then it becomes. So we'll have to check the date so that we are sure of
No
when.
problem. I will check the date and give it to you later. Okay. So I have just proven that he is engaging in Jandam. And then not only that, he is also talking about Jenana freeing some people from, but you know, it is constitutional. If you don't know this, then it means you are just still engaging in Jandam. It is constitutional that a president on one or two things can grant some people free from prison. It has this legal term that pardon, yeah.
Presidential pardon.
So is it not constitutional? It is constitutional. I've given you a vivid example here that party members of your party, who are these so-called invisible forces, attacked a court of competent jurisdiction. A lady was seated in chair as the judge, and she was attacked. What did the woman in your party say about that? Where was Esla Owusu? Where is your so-called Fremont Party?
She's not so-called. She's Fremont Party.
So, your so-called chief.
She's not so-called. She is.
So if you are talking, making all those Jandam style of communication, trying to, no, it will not go. Now, coming to your party, you see, anybody who is a serious politician in the MPP, who one day aspires or has a vision of becoming the president of Ghana, if even the offer is being given to you on a silver platter, you should reject it.
Which offer? To become a running?
To become a running mate.
You should reject it.
You should reject it. Because the person you are going to pair with has credibility issues. The person is a chronic liar. He lies through his teeth.
Can you say something?
He lies more than Satan.
No. That's too. We don't like to engage.
So if you allow yourself,
could you listening?
If you allow yourself, please. If you allow yourself to be okay, sorry.
So
okay, no problem.
To describe our leader in that term, I'm not too sure.
But he's a liar. I can prove to you that he's a liar.
He's a liar. How?
He's a liar. He lies more than Satan. Now let me give you an example. Was he not the same person who went to Cape Coast and said, "People of Cape Coast, we are building"? He didn't say we will build. He said we are building an airport. Didn't he say that? Did you see any airport? So if this is not a liar, who is he?
Oh, he said they are building. It means they have started the process.
He said they are building. And I'm asking you a question.
They have started the process.
Have they started? Are they building something?
Maybe they are thinking, planning.
Akufo-Addo came back and says he doesn't remember any contract of such. So meaning Baobia is a liar. So if I say he lies more than Satan, you should understand. You lies and even
would you be comfortable if
he's an alakpato? Let me use the word in English.
Would you be comfortable if such examples are pulled out of your leader and to come to the conclusion that he's also a liar? You'll be comfortable.
I just give you.
I'm saying that if examples are given, that suggests that your leader said something and it didn't come to pass, and on that basis he's described as a leader, you're comfortable because you're setting the standard. And I want to be sure that if that same thing is applied to you, you don't have any problem. If that is so, then that's okay. Let's make progress. I'm listening.
No problem. Someone who goes on a platform and say, some time ago, he was in the boys' brigade at the Methodist Church, and the mother was a Christian. So you can conclude for yourself. You see, the people who are parading, who needs this particular running mate thing from Baomia, the rumors coming, meaning people from Ashanti region want it more. In Ashanti region, how many MPs do the MPP have?
43.
43. Compare it to the NDC. You have 43 MPs. Most of these people, or maybe more of them, are ministers of state. Some are even cabinet members. We saw Otunfo coming out from the palace. Cameras being placed on him, begging for funds, pleading to people to give him funds to go and renovate.
Okay, so it means they have all been incompetent. Okay.
They are all incompetent.
Okay.
This will tell you how incompetent they are. And even joining incompetency with someone who has a credibility issue and a liar.
As for that word liar, I'm very uncomfortable with the use of that. You can say he has.
I've just given you an example that even his own boss has proven him that he's a liar.
See, relax. You can say he have said or he has made statements that have turned out not to be true. But to call him a liar, I think it's too strong a word on our leaders. We don't want to engage in that kind of conversation. It's not proper. I'm not too sure it helps anybody when we are describing leaders in that manner.
But you were okay when someone was described as incompetent.
Oh no, but incompetent.
Yeah, but you were okay. So a liar is also an English word. If you feel incompetent, it's an English word. A liar is also an English word.
I want to use those words.
So that is it.
Let me. The last issue we have to discuss, and you have an option. If either you want to spend your time on this or you want to deal with that, the conviction, prosecution, and conviction of Aisha One. Some have said this is a clear evidence to suggest that your party is committed in the fight against Galamsey. But some also look at the prosecution. Say, how do you prosecute someone under a previous law?
Okay.
Meanwhile, there was a new act that will give that possibly could give a longer jail term. It means that there are some issues there that they really don't. I mean, box all everything together. Let me hear you. And this is so we can do this in 4 minutes. So you have 4 minutes.
Okay. So I'll just use 1 minute to address that issue. So you see, I sit here and I feel sorry for the National Democratic Congress. Very, very sorry for them. First of all, if today he's saying that because the president has that prerogative of a presidential pardon, so anybody ought to be pardoned, that for me is sorry. So sorry. That a woman will be told live on radio that I'm going to rape you. And because it is constitutional, and no less a woman than the Chief Justice, because it is constitutional, people should go and append signatories, people should write petitions, the president must and should grant that pardon. What is in God's name are we hearing from the National Democratic Congress? Dear fellow Ghanaians, this is the option. This is the alternative you're talking about. That they will say they will rape a woman. Rape. They will threaten a woman with maim, threats, death. And then it is constitutional. So the KJT women that their tradition, the PNDC, stripped them naked and lashed them on the streets was constitutional, right? The 3 high court judges, including Cecilia Quarantine, who was nursing a baby. She had a baby on her breast, feeding. She was taken and killed. Because we were in the military junta, it was constitutional. We should justify that. Look, what is wrong is wrong. Let's not give a mileage to some of these, excuse my words, nonsense in the name of constitutional. That pardon was scandalous. That pardon was unforgiving. And we need to speak to it. And you see, they are always in the haste to talk about what we have done to the judiciary. And they make argument with data force going into a courtroom to usurp the powers of the court. In this country, we had your then former national chairman of your party describing the Chief Justice as there are several ways of killing the cat. Today, even in the 21st century Ghana, your presidential candidate, Mahama, has promised to get rid of our judges and bring in NDC card-bearing lawyers. How can that be? Does Ghana belong to the NDC? That you have the effrontery to stand before Ghanaians and say that henceforth, if and should you become the president of this republic, one of the biggest criteria where you can become a judge of our courts, Supreme Court, Appeals Court, High Court, is that you display your NDC party card. How sorry can this statement be? But even that, you are proud of it. And like you said, you rightly put it right. We can't engage in moralistic issues and be calling and be doing name calling. You know, I am a bit averse